let's see if we can get this going. Fix my camera real quick. I'm roughly in the center. Okay. Cool. And I guess I should send out a tweet so folks know what I'm up to. Okay, there, that's tweeted. Great. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Chris. That's very kind of you to say that. Hey, Nickman. Hi. How are you? Um, so yeah, it looks like my stream is going okay. Folks are chatting in chat. Nice. Um, so let me just do my usual my thing. So hi, I'm Joshua. Today is November 24th, 2016. In the US, it is our Thanksgiving holiday. Um, so my time's a little short today, but I want to do a quick stream because I did commit to doing a dev stream or a bonus dev stream every week, every day this week. Excuse me. I do it every week normally. I do a regular development stream on Sunday at noon Pacific time. So if you're interested in watching game dev happen, come join me. But tonight I'm working on Delver, and lately I've been doing a lot of I've been doing more programming. I've been doing a little bit of sprite art, and I'm kind of getting a little burned out. I'm not used to working like with this. Usually I work, like I said, 2 to 10 hours a week, and I've been working more this week. I'm starting to get a little burned out. So what I think I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna switch and do some level design, just to kind of get a break and a little change of pace while still being productive on the project. Again, for those of you who don't know, Delver, I have the website up here. It's delvergame.com. It's a procedural first-person dungeon crawler. It has permadeath, it has random loot, it has random levels. If you're interested, you can support us by purchasing it on Steam. We're in early access, FYI, so if early access isn't your thing, you can wait till we are a full product. Having said that, let me just do a couple things. Let me just refresh my Git repo to make sure I have the latest code, and pull up my IDEs so I can launch the editor, and then we'll get to making levels. Because I remember, wow, mini streams back, I started a level as kind of a lark, and I never finished it, so I would like to finish that up and get it in. Doofus Digital, hey, thank you for joining me. Okay, let me just do a sync real quick. It's thinking. Okay. Okay, that looks to be latest, I think. All right, so let's just pop open the level editor and start making or editing some levels. This would be kind of a nice change of pace for my brain. Still creative work and still interesting. Hopefully folks find me making levels an okay thing to do. So I think I'd saved my desktop of all things, which is kind of dangerous. Yeah. And yeah, so I think this is going to be this was going to be an end of level segment, if I remember correctly, and you were going to be kind of going down. Yeah, I wanted to have this cool view, like as you enter this, you're kind of looking down onto the exit. So right now it's pretty darn dark. I should probably just artificially put like a post or something up so I can call out the exit. So let me go ahead and just raise these up a little bit, enough so I can slap a Hmm. Actually, I might be able just to do some. So basically I'm trying to create an excuse to have a light source by the stairs, so it's super obvious for the player where they need to go down at. Sometimes the selection can be a little strange if you're because generally I think that we do the calculations for the selection of the tile based on the z=0 plane. So if the level gets a little above or below that, sometimes the selection can be a little goofy. So generally just repositioning your camera helps. Um, okay, so there's that. Actually, I might want to, for some odd reason, I feel like maybe pulling this down too. Just creating some interesting shapes. It doesn't have to be super realistic. It could be kind of abstract. That's okay. Delver's not a hyper-realistic game. Actually, maybe I can put something cool on the upper wall here. Maybe, oh, either some gold blocks or a trim or something. Yeah, that might not be bad. So now it's really easy. I can just go over here and I can right-click, add a marker, torch, and it should slap a torch on that wall right there. And then we'll pretty much that way. When you're standing up here and you're looking down, you can see the exit and a torch right next to it. So I think that should make it pretty darn clear what's going on. And I'm trying to figure out why should this be shaped the way it is. I almost want to put something on it. Um, hmm. Hmm. Anyways, that's okay. So this is, I mean, it's I don't know. Right now, it's just a straight shot, which isn't always interesting. I'm trying to think. I mean, like having I guess the straight line of sight is good. But there's not like if there are enemies chasing you, there's not really a lot to give you like cover. Like you can't hide behind these pillars. Um, I could put a walkway around them. I don't know. I could see what that looks like. See if that's an awful idea or not. Uh, turn off paint adjacent, so I don't necessarily want that. Let's do that. And then let's pull this up. I'm just seeing what this is like. If not, I can always undo it. The idea being that it would be nice on this long straightaway that you might have some way of kind of stepping off to the side here, so you can dodge folks if you need to, or if the folks are down there, you can kind of hop here. Even though this does limit um, your movement quite a bit actually. I think I like it. I think I like it okay. Push that up a little. Let me just kind of make this work as a little angled step. And like this also, maybe just on the floor, put the broken rock texture there. There we go. Cool. I guess you give off little puffs when you fall, which is cool. Yeah, and maybe do the same thing on the other side. Yeah. How's everybody's evening going? Thank you for joining me. Hopefully your Thursday night has been a good one. Again, let's pull this up. think maybe I could make this more like stairs and then make the other side on the other side look broken, like it's messed up. Just add a little bit of variety. Okay, so that seems cool. So up, that's traversable, and then on this side, just kind of go with the broken stuff. Again, just adding just a little bit of visual interest. Nothing crazy though. Also maybe imply this is broken too. Let me turn it, there we go. Yeah, I'm doing good. So today is the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday, and since my wife and I we are geographically separated from I guess our folks, we're starting to figure out our own little traditions. This year, we just decided to go to a restaurant just to make things easy on ourselves. I think these guys need torches too, because it looks looking pretty dark here. I think if I put torches on something like that, they're like all right. Should I do it on both sides? Because coming this way, it also looks dark. I guess I'm kind of okay with leaving one side dark, so maybe put a torch there and then, yeah, looks all right. I kind of like how there's an accidental texture right here that's the brick. Maybe I can kind of imply that there might have been some sort of wall or something at one point in time. So we do something like this. And the floor should be just a normal floor. Then the ceiling can be that. And we pull that down. And kind of make this match. Probably pull it even further down, to be honest. Maybe another block or so. There we go. Cool. And then I'm just going to imply that this kind of plane, this wall, should kind of go in both directions. So let me grab that, and then shift F to flatten out the ceiling, and then pull that down. And I can leave the floor lava here. So let me grab this, but then change the ceiling texture to this, the lower wall texture to that, and the upper wall texture to this as well. And then I can kind of shift F to flatten, and then kind of slowly just pull this down and kind of make this this kind of structure going off to the sides. I think this might be interesting. I always like to imply the structure of things, like that they might actually be like real, have some sort of utility other than just being set dressing, really. That's my favorite thing about the world building is, you know, try to create little stories to explain away things. Let's go to the temple textures. There we go. That looks correct. Let's also, I guess, make this guy also like that. Maybe pull this up a little, push that up. And I'm just going to kind of make these slightly uneven because maybe I was kind of implying that they're broken. I might even, yeah, I could even definitely make the floor textures agree with that. So JCWMM looks like a TF2 Scout. You know, hey, what engine did you say this was in, by the way? So this is in a custom engine written by Chad, who is the other half of the Delver development team. He has written this in Java, and it is built using the libgdx framework. So the libgdx framework gives us a nice API for OpenGL, and it does some input handling stuff for us. Um, but all the systems and stuff Chad has implemented himself, which is pretty cool. Um, on one hand, it's expensive because you have to program everything, but on the other hand, it's nice because when we need to make an engine change, Chad pretty much knows exactly like where to make the fix and how to fix it. So that's always super helpful. That means real quick, I'm gonna go over here and change the floor to that. And then let's just go over here to the left and just grab those textures. And like from this direction, it's probably pretty easy to see that the wall goes off that way. It's a pretty clean like little like linear like downslope. So I may want to go back and really fix that or change how that looks. Maybe I can since I'm mentioning it and since it's obviously bothering me, let me kind of play around with how these walls actually look, because that just seems like I don't know, maybe walls do break like that in reality. But let me just kind of play with stuff. Okay, and now to the other side. Maybe I can apply this was a much larger structure before the cape started to like fall in on itself. Maybe really kind of push this one too to make it nice and low. So Nickman says I can do an arch in between the pillars, just selecting the middle inwards. Yeah, I certainly can. For most of the architecture here, it's been pretty rectilinear, so that basically implies, do I want this to look broken or not? If that makes sense. Then I want the floor to be lava. Yeah, flatten this out. But yeah, no, you can certainly do like arches and all kinds of interesting shapes using the Delver engine. Mr. JFK says hi. Hello, Mr. JFK. Thank you for joining my my stream. Maybe here on this side, I'll kind of let the maybe this wall actually goes all the way over. I mean, okay, so undid too much there. So Shift Enter to paint, and then what I'm going to do is just highlight with my not select, but just highlight the tiles I want. Hit Shift F to flatten out the ceiling real quick, so I can just get a nice like stepped look there. And I'm just going to kind of work this wall up as the closer it gets towards the cavern wall there. Maybe over by here, maybe this final piece is actually still solid. So I will let's go ahead and make that solid. And let me just pull this up, and then pull that down. And actually, maybe the lower wall needs to not be that trim texture. Maybe it works better as being just the stone block texture. Maybe pull it up so it does kind of stay a little jagged. Pull this down. Maybe I can slant some of these again just to imply that this is not an intentional design. they are in fact broken. Let me pull this one up. And actually, maybe on the floors, go ahead and give them that broken, like the rubble kind of texture, which I think works. Actually, over here too, let me go ahead and I'm going to basically floor temple and make that rubble texture there, and then maybe the lower wall is also that rubble texture, kind of implying that when these actually it should actually be right here in the middle because there's nothing there, there's no broken spots there, but basically kind of implying that this stuff actually went somewhere when the wall broke away. Then let me just hit G to grab the texture there, and then Shift Enter to paint that. And then over here I can just play with kind of distributing these rubble piles and kind of pulling up their floor heights to kind of make it look more like a pile that you'd see in real life. Pull that up. Cool. Because yeah, if you gauge your notion in real life, things kind of make this this conical shape as they kind of pour or spill out. So that's what I'm going to kind of simulate here. Again, working within the limitations of the engine, we can't really do it is tile based, so I have to kind of simulate or imply a lot of this. But I think for the most part it works well. I think people kind of understand what I'm getting at. Okay, that's cool. Let me just go over here and see what that looks like. Yeah, so we have this whole thing here, like a crumbly wall bits on either side. You actually climb out here and kind of get into an interesting situation. If I'm up here, can I actually step up? No, I can't step up. So maybe I will make this slant towards. This is about like enabling or giving the player an affordance to actually get back to the level should they get off the beaten path a little bit. And then maybe I will entity basic ladder and put a ladder there for them to get back on track. T to turn stuff. Let me just move it along this axis till it's right there. Then I can kind of just place it roughly there. I think that should be enough. I shouldn't have to do 2 ladders. So you can hop out of the lava, which is good. I didn't even check that. And you can climb up here, and you can get back. Nice. I actually might want to pull these down just a slight bit to make it easier to get out of the lava. Just maybe move the whole thing down a touch. Okay, and then this pile, I'm just going to angle it a little bit more, just to make it interesting visually, I guess. Okay, there we go. I'm going to angle this down so the player can get there, and then maybe towards that. Again, so if you fall in the lava, you give a few seconds to get back out, and get back up. That's good. That's the lag target, this broken column here. I can't remember. Let me go ahead and save this because I think you can actually. I think you can copy and paste selections here. I think it's not something I've done very often. I think there are bugs with it, but I think I can copy this column, and then I can say go over here and paste it. I think. Let me see. Yeah, that worked ish. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, so I think the bug is when you copy and paste, it preserves the angles of the floor bits, but the ceiling bits get flattened out. And And that is something we do, I guess, intend to fix, but because it's for the editor, it's not a super high priority, unfortunately. Um, Again, if this is something that's crucial to your workflow, if you're a modder, please let me know, and we will bump this up in the priority. I think I've only ever had one person complain about it, and I really don't ever use the copy and paste feature. Maybe I should more. Here I'm just kind of playing around the ceiling to make it look more natural. Let me see what that shape does. We have a couple of just trying to add some more visual interest. Okay. What else? I mean, what gameplay stuff can I do? Let me put a little one there. Again, just implying that this was a wall at one time, and then maybe here I can kind of carve this away a little bit from the wall, just to kind of maybe let you see it a little bit better from the top side. So pull this down, and pull the ceiling down, and kind of, as we work our way back, make it progressively more narrow. So pull these up, pull these down, and then look like this. Pull that up, pull that down, and kind of maybe give these a little slant outward. So grab this edge, pull it down, maybe grab that, pull it up a little, and maybe even emphasize that a little bit more by dropping that down. Maybe we can better see the wall from the top up here. I mean, it's more interesting. It's certainly more open. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can get over there. That's cool. I should just carve that out and then pull this down like that. Just trying to make it feel less boxy. So I do that just by adding lots of variation in the floor and ceiling height to kind of simulate slopes and uneven surfaces and ceilings. So it's looking okay. This is not good if you fall back in here, but it's kind of okay. Let me see. I can start pulling some of these down more here. So pull that down, pull that down. You can toggle lighting mode in the Delver editor by hitting L. Sometimes it's handy just to see what the lighting's doing. I don't know why the upper is like that. Let me grab that. Yeah. There we go. We fix that texture. Looks like the same thing on this side is happening too. There we go. Maybe because I had paint adjacent enabled, I was getting some spillover there. Okay, that looks good. Just pulling out the ceiling again. Looks like, yeah, so let me grab this. I think the upper wall should probably be stone. There we go. That looks okay. Let me go into play mode, see what that looks like. That's good. I still need to figure out, like, so we switch will open there, but it's looking better on this side. Again, you can certainly hop over there. Maybe I should reward the player for doing that. Do I have an extra space over here? I guess I do have some. I don't know. I don't have a lot of space to hide something back there. I don't know. I mean, I just worry because like whenever you open up space along the edges here, it has potential to connect to other areas, which is good and bad. And since I'm talking about that, I might as well do that, right? Like I might as well like a lot of my tiles kind of have this in mind. So let me um, grab this rock texture here and then carve that out. And then just generally, yeah, this is at the right level. Um, so then I just need to adjust. I just need to adjust some of the heights around it so it is possible for this to connect to another room, is what I meant. So by leaving this open, if another room gets generated next to it that also has its edges open like this, it'll connect. And I've been trying to be more mindful of letting that happen, or just you can't not really letting it happen, but intentionally doing that, just so these kind of happy accidents can occur. Even though I say happy accidents, but I mean that I've kind of designed them and I want them to happen. But not every room has this, so it is. Um, I don't know, like when they do line up, like there's not always a room next to it, and then the room, if it's next to it, doesn't always have this, but if it does, it feels really cool. Let me just pull that up. Dr. Kegel says, hi, earlier today. Yeah, no, I'm trying to do it a little earlier today. Like the past couple days, I've streamed from 7 to 9, and man, at the end of my day, like after, spending all day watching my son and caring for him, like I'm so like just like destroyed that like I haven't been super creative. And also, that's why tonight I'm doing level editing instead of programming or pixel art, is to give my brain a break and work on a different type of task. So Go Raccoon says it's very moody and pretty with the lighting. Thank you. Yeah, um, we get lots of compliments on our lighting, and um, I don't know, like um, lighting can do so much, and we're not afraid to certainly like light stuff, and we're also, I think, because of our light cartoony style, we're not afraid to use like lots of bright colored lights, and so you see lots of like greens and reds and blues in Delver, which is cool, and purples. Like these lights, like I don't know, like a lot of realistic games have like realistic lighting, and a lot of times that's not super interesting. Um, so yeah, we kind of go crazy with the lighting, and I think it works out okay for us. Nickman says, why is there no jump in Delver? Any chance of ever being able to jump? It's a specific design choice. The engine actually supports jumping, um, but I guess I have many thoughts on that. Whenever I see there's Dave is a colleague who works over at Xbox, the independent developer program, and every time he sees me, that's the first thing he brings up is well, the first thing he brings up is, have we moved over to like C++ and OpenGL so we can get it on the Xbox One? And then he asks me if the jumping has been added or not. And to be honest, like the majority of Delver has been like from the get-go, Delver has been designed without a jump. And I think adding it in now would break a lot of the areas, which means we have to redo a lot of the areas, which is a lot of work that we can't afford to do. And I think this is more about like exploring and not about like platforming per se. Not that I don't like platforming. And also like I have this weird thing too where like because we're a procedural game, like we didn't realize this at first, but because we're procedural, um, the game lends itself to YouTube Let's Plays very, very well. And I'm worried that if we allowed jump, like basically whenever the player wasn't actively doing something, they'd be jumping, and I think that would look terrible in the Let's Plays. So I don't want that to happen. I had another conversation with an artist colleague, and he said that the player's desire to jump, or at least his opinion, is from a need to express themselves. Um, so we thought that was an interesting point that he brought up. And so what we did is instead of adding jump, that's when we actually implemented the breakable objects. That's why you have like breakable crates and breakable barrels and wood and stuff, is um, because the thing is that they so rarely drop loot, it's not really ever worth the player's time to do it, but it gives them a way to emote. It gives them a way to express themselves in the environment through the actual like mechanics of the gameplay. Okay, so oop. Cool. So how do I kind of make this work? I'm okay if this is a one-way connection. Um, but how do I like could I maybe just add some stuff to drop down onto, and I think that would be sufficient. Just so you're not like jumping into lava, because that would be absolutely no fun. Um, so hopefully I haven't bored you to tears with my little rant about why there's no jumping in Delver. But if we ever make a second Delver engine game, uh, I'll probably put jumping in there for you folks and build the game around that so it uses it well. Um, just kind of building up this little area. This is mostly just to give the player a place to land if they do want to come in from up here. So you have this, and this kind of, yeah, then maybe I could put a ladder here so you can get back. You can get back on the beaten path again. And it's not super risky. Because lava in Delver is pretty damaging. Like if you have to run through like 3 to 5 tiles of lava, you're probably not gonna make it. Okay, and for this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to move a ladder up to the top and kind of push up against the wall. And then I'm just going to duplicate it and then just kind of let it clip into the ground here. Maybe also either pull it either towards or away from the other ladders so we don't get any Z fighting. Cool. Maybe pull that down, pull that down. Nice. So there you go. You can see that. You can see there's a ladder there. It's cool. Yep, you can get back up, which is nice. It's important. Let's see. This side's looking cool. This side has some stuff going on. I think I'll also add a connection on this side as well. Again, just to promote that kind of stuff, to make it so that the rooms kind of feel less linear as well. And I'm really going to kind of here, you can't see it when I'm flattening out the ceiling, just hit it with Shift F, because I'm going to have to, I'm going to pull the floor up, and I'm going to try to make it, maybe this side you can actually traverse both directions. So I'm going to have to be it's going to have to be kind of interesting in how I make that happen, because it's a pretty, something like that. Yeah, so Nickman says, well, they have potion jumps in the meantime. I mean, you can potion jump. You folks actually find that useful? Do people do it regularly? I mean, because we've not designed for jumping, there really isn't any. I mean, there might be shortcuts you can take with it, I suppose. Um, when you use potion jumping, what are you actually trying to achieve, if I might ask? And just kind of building a small like gradient um, up to up to there, and then I might actually make this wall, even though it's irregular and broken, traversable enough so you can actually get over there if you want. Let me pull that up. Just hold our thing up. And maybe flip the angle of this break. Flip maybe the angle of this break a little bit too. Okay, cool. So you ought to be able to walk over there. Cool. Then maybe kind of figure out a way to angle this up so you can actually get somewhere. Pull that up. So that might work. Let me see if it does. This over here is a broken wall. Over here. Oop. Okay, I need to. Let me just pull that up a touch, and then maybe angle this other side down a little bit. Down like that. Pull it back up. Same here. There we go. Cool. There we go. Hop along the wall. Climb up here. There we go. Oh, yeah. So if you want, you can get up here. Yeah, that's cool. Got this broken wall thing here still. Let's add a little bit more variation, and also this might help folks getting up and down. Let me just real quick, just select this row here and just pull this back edge up so it's a little bit easier. There we go. And then what does this view look like coming from here? Like, it looks cool. You might be able to see the down where the downstairs. Well, no, that column pretty much blocks that line of sight for the downstairs there. What about this direction? Is it a similar thing? Yeah. Both of these columns kind of block off the. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Control S. I just need to remember to save every now and then, so I'm not. So if something should go wrong, I don't lose lots of work. Okay. I think I want to do something maybe similar here as well, implying that these walls do go out further than they do, just to make it different. Because right now this is kind of following a common pattern I've set for the rest of the ruins area, but maybe I can make this area just a little different, not radically different, but still different enough. And also maybe if I block off the back area, I really don't have to worry about detailing it too much. Yeah. So Gandhi Chris says, "Do I have any tips on marketing roguelikes? You're building one of your own. Wow, very cool. Nice to see another roguelike developer over here. And not really. Like, if you like, I'm curious. Like, what have you done for marketing? Because we need to figure out how to do this as well. Um, Luckily, I guess we've just been around a long time, and we've accumulated a small community during that time, which I'm super thankful for. All you kind folks, just I guess being interested in the game as long as you have. Um, but yeah, I don't. Marketing is hard. It's very hard. Any other developers in chat have any tips on how you've been marketing your projects? Let me see if I can find somebody in chat. So yeah, cool. Um, let's see, it's looking okay. Let's see, it looks like actually playing. Got that wall over there. Cool. See, I put that rock right in the way where the wall would be, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to pave it over with a wall. Yeah, maybe. So Nickman is replying to why he would want to jump. Yeah, so those areas, Nickman, that have the dead ends with the elevated bit with stuff behind it, those actually are dead ends. What I'm trying to do there is to imply that the dungeon is a larger world that you can actually see, to try to make it feel bigger than it really is. I'm not sure if you wanting to go there is a good or bad thing. There we go. I guess that was an unintentional little side effect of these walls, but it's kind of cool. Then maybe on this side, what if the wall is still intact all the way over? Like that, and that. Let me just drag this like this, and then just hit backspace, shift enter to paint. And then now this wall over here is still kicking. Just trying to create an interesting space with maybe some interesting tactical opportunities. The wall is okay-ish. I may still break it open. Yeah. I think I'll break it open still. Just a little. Just because I still think seeing beyond it's kind of cool. So Dr. Kiko says, do I know how the schema words work on my side? So the short answer is no, I have no idea. I really haven't looked too much into it. Chad typically handles that end of development, so I don't know. I don't even really know what the Steam Awards are. Uh, I've seen a lot of like Twitter screenshots of what I assume are fake Steam Awards. Yeah, generally I haven't really had to do a lot of NDA stuff with Valve. Typically the stuff that they ask you to not to share around is just like if they're going to have some sort of like for like the summer sale or something or the winter sale, um, they'll ask you if you want to be involved with it and they'll give you some deadlines and they ask you not to share out like the deadlines and stuff like that. But like we all know the winter sale's coming, so it's not a super huge thing. Maybe if I logged into my Steamworks developer page, it might give me more information than I do know, but I've not done that, obviously. What would be back here that's interesting? I like how the lava there is lighting stuff up. Hmm. What to do? Well, I could damage the stairs a little bit just to make them not perfect. That would add maybe some visual interest. Like right here, I think it could use some breaking up, so that's not a bad thing. Don't want to go too crazy with damaging it, but just a little, I think, would be nice. Still, as long as you can still climb them, I think that's my main concern. And then maybe just one up here. Cool. There we go. Yeah, then you can't climb that one, so I'm gonna have to adjust this step just a little. Maybe pull that down a tick. And just go up it. That's good. Just trying to make this place feel worn. It is the ruins area after all. Um, yeah, there we go. Save. Oh, so you're talking about in the ruins area. There's a start. Yeah, in the ruins area, there is a start. There is a start room that has a little room in the back that always has a lantern in it, and you can just run over there. You don't have to potion jump. If you watch one of my old archives of my stream, I actually create that room and jump and just run across to it. Potion jumping is not required. I designed it so you can just run over there. Now, I guess if you are heavily armored enough, your speed will be lowered such that you probably can't make it. But um, if you have a high speed or if you're unencumbered, you can definitely make that jump. Two says, "What's this room for?" This room is for peace of mind. So all this work I've been doing on the visual effects and particles and wand stuff has kind of burned me out. Usually I only work a few times a week, and I've been working a lot more than I normally have, which is cool, but I needed a little bit of a sanity check. So I'm working on a room I started mini streams ago that I never finished. This is going to be an end room for the ruins area. And you can see there's the downward stairs marker. Just trying to get this finished. because I'd started it and not finished it. So it's just a way for my give my brain a chance to cool off from worry about making art. And instead, I'm just making levels, making rooms, making interesting spaces to play. So you can have enemies here and get strafe over here. Um, yeah, I have these connecting little sides here, which is cool. Um, that's nice. I need to figure out what to do back here. I could put the big stone heads, or I could just have this. This one could just be a really claustrophobic kind of lava space. Okay, so let me just start pulling chunks of the ceiling down. So I kind of just mostly want this area for its contributions to ambient lighting, to be honest with you. And I goofed the floor there, so let me pull the floor up. Yeah, it's a side effect thing of in the editor, if you drag the floor above the ceiling or the ceiling below the floor, um, it will push the floor or ceiling away, so you don't get these weird overlaps of ceiling and floor. The older versions of the engine, you could do that, but we've since, as a quality of life thing, fixed that. Pull this whole thing down. There we go. Just kind of really tighten this up. So again, it's mostly just for ambiance, and you know, maybe it kind of implies that this whole area is kind of just like slowly sinking, like everything's sinking into the lava. Um, cool. Looks like Nickman is talking about the first level. There's a little corner with a lantern mostly, and this side had a sword. I could do a gift showing it. Um, huh. Now maybe it's a room that Chad designed. I've designed a lot of the rooms, but not all of them. So I mean that is very possible. Also, we do sometimes allow the computer to generate rooms as well, which uh, sometimes it creates crazy stuff. So it might have been the computer doing something interesting. Just doing little bits of detailing. It's kind of a nice break from my mind. So I want to pull the ceiling down so there's not a lot of room back here, but I also want to leave it up enough so you still get light coming out on this side. So we can look over there. Yeah, you can see that area back there. This stuff, that's cool. Yeah, maybe pull some of the ceiling. Yeah, there's bits of ceiling here just a little bit too high. So let me just Keep tweaking these, pulling them down. Yep. No worries, Chris. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, tonight is mostly just about level design, just me kind of having a nice relaxing evening of just making a new room for Delver. I know last stream, a guy in chat named Francisco was asking about roughly how long it takes me to design one of these levels. And it said really generally about an hour or two. Sometimes it can take longer. So if Francisco, I don't know if Francisco's here again, but yeah, it doesn't look like it. But yeah, level design is a nice change of pace. Actually, I might make this room actually a room over here. Let me go ahead and fill this in. That might be interesting. Have it asymmetric a little bit. And then yeah, go ahead and paint the walls here. Let me go ahead and flatten out the ceiling and the floor. There we go. I pull the floor up to match the floor height there. Then we lower the ceiling height to match the ceiling over here. I think that's roughly right. That's roughly correct. And also should change the overall lighting. So now if you look at it, it's going to be dark, which is cool, and that's bright on that side. So it's not, again, breaking up the symmetry a little bit. Yeah. Lava here. And over here I need to push the floor down a little. How far? This looks like not that far. There we go. I think that's correct. There we go. So this will be the level exit, and then do something extra over here, just kind of hanging out. So what I want to do is go ahead and put a pillar in the corner. Okay, yeah, so it's not up against the edge, which is good. Yeah, let me do, yeah, pillar there. Let me do a pillar here. Let me go ahead and carve that, and then pull this down. Again, just trying to add some interest, some variations. Because rooms can be really boring if they're purely, you know, just 4 walls and a ceiling. So I just try to add just little bits of interest to it. There we go. Yeah, let me match. Just kind of match the height here. So pull that down there and have that kind of going all the way around. Okay. That'll make this height match. I think I should bump it down just once, one tick. There we go. There we go. It's looking nice. Got this broken wall here. So with the broken wall, I could probably go ahead and it would be a decent excuse for some debris. So I can play with the floor here a little bit. Also maybe on these tiles, have the lower wall also be that debris texture, so it's not super clean. Here, I'm just gonna select just the one tile, Joshua. There we go. Just paint that there, and maybe hit T to turn the texture so it doesn't look like it's repeating as obviously. So we got this little area back here that I'm not quite sure what its pointed is yet, but it's back here. And then this area is all cruddy and sinking into the lava, which is interesting, I hope. This is going to be the downstairs. Maybe over here would be a good place to have like a little area with an item in it. It's a 3x3 room, so maybe I'll put a little, maybe I'll just pull this up and put an item on it. If I pull it up too high, can you even get to that? Like if I had like something there, can you? Yeah, maybe if I make it a slight little puzzle where you can just run up there and hop over to get it, or you might even actually, if an item's there, you could probably just walk over there and press E to pick it up. I think it's pretty generous as far as like price marker. I think you can just, yeah, you can you can just look at it. You might not see it. I'll just bump that down. That just seems silly and kind of contrived. So I'll still make it raised, but just not as extreme. And maybe I'll change the this lower wall texture to just the regular. Maybe make it gold block. So we're kind of calling it out, and then the floor also can be gold block. So we're definitely calling it out. So yeah, you got this little shield there, which is cool. Let me play with the floor height so you can actually navigate some of this stuff. There we go. Pull this up towards that, and up towards that. So you can kind of come in, you can go up here if you want. Got that there. It's looking okay. What else? I guess I can put, this is a, I could put like decor piles here, like a decor pile, and maybe decor here. This just generates either bones or notes, or just something kind of not super important. Yeah, put another piece of decor here. And the decor is defined per level, so generally we leave it the same, but you could make decor different on different levels if you're so inclined. I'm kind of okay with this not stepping up because I'm pretty sure you can go back out this way, and you can climb over here, and then this can connect back over here, which is all good. So I'm kind of okay if it's just a one-way route. Actually, probably jump to there and then that's okay in my book. Let me raise this up just well. Let me see. Play around with the ceiling heights here a little bit. Maybe work on detailing this side for a while. I just don't want to. I want to still have some visibility, like when you're coming out of this area. Also, let me do add some variety to the ceiling height here, so it's not so blech. Okay, so that's looking okay. Got this kind of column thing here. I can pull this up a little, I suppose. There we go. Cool. So we're kind of looking at this ruin area, which is nice. We got this room back here. We have this wall that we can kind of clamber across. Okay. I think it's looking all right. Downward stairs. Control S to save. What's, let me think, what's bugging me? What's bugging me? Yeah, some of the ceiling here in this area needs some quick love. Um, the upper wall can probably be, yeah, like that. Um, so the same reason pledge not dual wielding was mentioned yesterday. I guess this point levels are all designed around no player jumping. Yeah, so basically, if we allowed you to jump, all it would break all the levels, and it like a lot of the things without like it wouldn't break them, but like some of the things we've designed to kind of make the players move certain ways would just no longer be applicable. And not everybody wants it. I think you have to realize that um, like when people are vocal about like the people who are passionate about something tend to be the most vocal, and the people who are okay with something rarely say anything about it. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. Um, and again, I don't think it's appropriate for this. Like, for example, like I've been in like as a kid, like I was in the Boy Scouts and we'd explore caves and stuff, which was really cool. And I can, I can say that I've never jumped around, when I was in a cave. Like if you're like if you think about it, your little character has a backpack full of gear, you're not gonna jump. Um, when I was in the military lugging around, my weapons and my backpack, it's so heavy, like running is a chore. I mean, these are I guess they're just design decisions that we've made and we've just stuck with them. And hopefully folks find them interesting. I mean, they are conscious things we've done intentionally. NatSec says, hey, Nat. Thank you for joining my stream. Just having a nice relaxing level design session, making a lava room for the temple area. Let my brain cool off. I'm drinking coffee and not beer. Usually in the mornings I drink coffee, and for my evening streams, since it's my time to relax, I've been usually enjoying a nice, uh, tasty beer, but not tonight. I want to stay motivated and not get sleepy. Again, just playing around with how this cave wall and ceiling look in this kind of this start part. And maybe lowering the ceiling will also help me kind of partition out um, bits of the level, and make it feel less like one giant open room and more like these kind of connected areas that you can kind of explore. So a lot of dungeon crawlers um, fall into this um, like this room corridor trope, and I think that I mean I'm gonna assume that that comes from the days of D&D, and basically when you draw out maps on grid paper, you draw it as room corridor, and basically some of the ways that D&D has been traditionally played, and probably still is played in many ways today, is just like a dungeon. Um, so a dungeon really isn't a real thing. Like if you've been to like castles or um, like any sort of old structures in real life. They are real things where people would live and work in, and they'd have all these amenities. But in D&D, dungeons were almost like these abstract things that were meant to support a series of encounters. I mean that this is kind of it's just definitely a generalization. Not all D&D or DMs do it this way, but I think in the old school approach, it definitely was just like this room has a goblin in it, and this room has three orcs in it in this room, and there's no real continuity. So what I'm trying to do is create spaces that seem more real, and so that way Delver doesn't necessarily. I mean, sometimes we do fall into the trope of having like just a series of halls and rooms that just have encounters in them. But I like to think we're trying to get away from that a bit and try to have some spaces that are a little more interesting and the feel like that's why we have like little bedroom sets and stuff like that to make it try to feel like this space is kind of lived in. And maybe you kind of ask yourself, why are these people living in this nasty place? Um, and then you think, is this place really nasty, or am I the bad guy? Um, so yeah, so I'm just trying to break up these areas so they're not just like room corridor. Test the Quill says, how's my Thanksgiving been? My Thanksgiving has been very good. We ended up going, we had our Thanksgiving dinner at noon at a local restaurant, um, which was nice because it was early enough that my son had just woken up from his morning nap and was in a great mood. And we didn't have to deal with a crying, upset child for the entire meal, which is nice. Um, I was actually, I had self-control and I did not engorge myself. So I actually have leftovers too, which is nice. It's always my favorite part of the holiday is to have leftover turkey. My wife is not a fan of turkey. I like it. Um, I like it cold and with lots of salt for some odd reason. I don't know if that means I have some sort of deficiency, but yeah, that's my favorite way to eat it. Okay. There's kind of a lot of areas. Chris says, how is the military if that's not an inappropriate subject? And I really don't talk about my military service a lot. Not that I have any regrets. Um, I don't know. I'll briefly touch on it. So for me, um, I joined. Um, I joined the Army National Guard when I was 17, and I wasn't even out of high school yet. For the National Guard, they have a program where you can join, and the summer break between your senior or junior and senior years, you can do basic training, and then after you graduate, you go and you do your job training. But I joined when I was 17, which was 1999, and this was before 9/11, because I'm that old, and it was interesting because back then the National Guard was seen as basically like disaster relief. Like they were trained soldiers, but their primary like, and I mean to some degree today it's still supposed to be this way that the National Guard um, report to they don't report to the federal government, they report to the state, and the governor of the state can task them. Um, Lately, it's become that basically the National Guard have become what the Army Reserve were meant to be. Um, and I'm not gonna, I don't really follow those politics too much, but um, yeah, so I joined very young, and I think it, like being a young man, I don't know, I think it really helped me develop a lot of discipline, um, and uh, definitely a good amount of respect. Um, Also, coming from a small town, you know, and going into the military, that was like the first time I'd ever really spent uh, a significant amount of time away from my family and around people I had no idea who they were. So that was an interesting aspect of it as well. You know, uh, learning to like I guess make friends and also just to deal with stressful situations. So yeah, I would say it's definitely shaped who I am. I have no regrets about my service. I can say with pride that I served honorably, and I've done nothing I regret. Um, I did end up spending a year in the Middle East. I was deployed to Operation Iraqi Freedom 3. Uh, uh, and this was during 2005, I believe. 2005, yeah. And I spent 2 months in Kuwait and 10 months in Iraq, kind of outside of Tikrit, in the at the old air base there. And that really changed my perspective on life in many ways. Like like uh, strangely enough, like a lot of things now, I try not to let bother me because um, like just like I guess perspective, you know, like after seeing the conditions that folks live over there and living in not so great conditions myself, like I'm continually thankful for indoor plumbing because um, uh, until you don't have it, you never realize how nice it is. Um, just like having a toilet that you can walk to without having to get like fully dressed and like walking across the desert and avoiding like snakes and scorpions and stuff. Um, it was like the little things became really nice, and then a lot of the BS that we kind of stress out over day to day, I kind of let go. Unfortunately, some of that BS stuff has crept back into my consciousness, but for a while there, it really put into hyper perspective like how well um, how well we have things, and uh, it makes me grateful for what I do have. I'm not rich, but my family we can feed ourselves and we can afford to keep a roof over ourselves. So I'm very thankful for that. Fire Dragon says hello, hello, Fire Dragon. Um, I'm building levels tonight, or one room actually, just one room. Just trying to make it cool. Um, I'll end my little monologue on my military service, but yeah, that's the short story, Chris. Crap! Can I get out? 4, 3, 2. Oh, yeah, I can. There we go. What if I? Yeah, I think I can just kind of skirt around this. Okay. Cool. And also, I guess the other thing too is, um, after I came back from Iraq, I was like, so I before I went to Iraq, I had done like a year's worth of university, and I screwed around, and I ended up withdrawing and had terrible grades because I wasn't serious. But coming back, I was very motivated to finish up my degree and actually get somewhere in my life. So yeah, and then I went on to university and I did really well. Being an older student certainly has its advantages. Um, cool, cool, cool. This is nice. Um, let me save this. Let me open up another one just to see if there's anything I'm missing because like I haven't worked with these in a while, so maybe it's not a bad idea to refresh myself and just look at the style elements of the other um, the other levels I've worked on. So GitHub, Delver, assets. There we go. And I want to open up generator, ruins, ends. And I only have 3, so that's why I'm adding this 4th one. Is just so that we have a little bit more variety. So this end has a lot of broken stuff. It has a couple torches, stairs down. It has enemies, which I need to add. It has these little waterfall or these little lava fall fixtures. Um, But yeah, it has that big stone head as kind of a set piece. Oh, I haven't put any of these little decoration elements, so I can do some of that. Let me look at this other end here I've done. Um, so this one, has some of the falling floor pieces. It has a couple enemies. It has this little area over here with some decor in it, and it has these downward steps with some broken. Yeah, that looks cool. Then lastly, um, okay, this one. Yep, big stone heads, little decoration elements. Yeah, I think I need to add decoration elements is what I am missing. Because I think I've got it to a place where I like it. I think it'll work just fine. Um, so let me just decorate it up a bit and get in the game. 'Cause yeah, maybe those heads on those pillars would be cool. And here too. Let me just do that. So where is it at? Right click, prefab. Oh man, temple sets maybe. Just we have so many things in the temple sets now that I need to give myself lots of room for these. Okay, so it's not a set. Is it in architecture? MISC? Where did I put it, Joshua? Decorations? Areas. Man. I don't remember where I put it. There's temple rock debris. Let me just search my JSON and see where it's at. Okay. Yeah, Chris is just thanking me for my candor. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, granted my experience is not everybody's experience, but that was what I took away from it. Dubious Digital says those waterfall lava flow textures are very nice. Yeah, so that's part of that is what we do is for the lava. If you look really closely, we add these little dark bits around the edges to kind of help make it feel like it's cooling and as it's touching these areas. But also, if I lift up the lava, what we do is we instead of having the dark edges, we have the bright edges, and this kind of helps make it feel like it's like a little bit of movement. That as the lava moves faster, maybe it's stretching and you can see some of the hot stuff. It's just a small little effect. We just have these little trim pieces we put on the liquid stuff. Deathblade 711 says, "Hi, how's the stream?" The stream is good. The stream has just been really chill tonight. I'm just kind of I'm making a new room for the temple area to let my brain cool off from all the particle effect and animation stuff, and just making a little area here. Okay, so I can't remember where I put my decoration meshes, so let me just look. Assets, data, entities. So we look for stone head, temple stone head. Okay. What group is this in? Temple crusher trap. So it looks like it might be. It's not in temple sets. What is it in? Temple trap floor, temple brazier. These are all looking correct. Temple fire, temple. This is exactly the spot I want. Short pipe, temple crumbling wall, upward pipe, crumbling sewer wall, great decal. What group is this in? Man. Generator. Okay. So, yeah, it's not, I guess, not super obvious naming conventions there. Again, that would be something too, if I were to do a second project, and knowing now what I know with how we've been building procedural content, I would probably be way more strict about like naming conventions and organization. And that's just a maturity thing. Now that I've been doing it for a few more years on one project, and also like this project didn't start off as a commercial product, so um, we weren't making choices as if it were. And that's also another lesson that I've learned. So generator, and then I want a temple small head, and then let's just turn this, and then we'll snap it over here on the wall. And then I'll pull it up to an appropriate height. It looks cool. And also, you notice too when I duplicated that and I moved it over, it's a different mesh, and that's because this particular prefab is defined as two different meshes that it could be. So even when in interplay mode, sometimes it will change, yeah, the mesh, which is cool. It's a nice way to just add variety with very little effort. So we have those guys, and I'll probably add some there as well, just to add some interest. So maybe there's one, maybe it's missing from that side, because maybe I'll put it over here, and then duplicate it and put it over there. Cool. Again, try not to be a slave to symmetry. I mean, to be honest, like generally when humans build things, there's symmetry to it. But I'm trying not to be afraid to break it occasionally. Yeah, that's cool. The shadow's nice over here. Same level, that's good. Maybe even I'll pull this rock down here even a little bit more just to make it obvious. Like maybe that the ceiling is collapsed a little bit and is broken away this that little statue guy. Okay, so I think it's in a good spot. Let me save it. Let me save it where it's supposed to live. Save as, and save level. Okay, I need to navigate back to repositories, GitHub, Delver, engineer, assets, generator, dead, ins, and this is 4.bin. Okay, cool. Let me, I need to package this up. So, so I spoke to Chad. I figured out why we do it this way. So if you notice, in the Delver assets, not Delver, our assets, we have a generator folder and we have a generator.zip file, and we distribute both. And so what this is all about is, I guess on the Android devices, when we first started working with this, for some odd reason, they didn't like us directly reading from the file system. So this was a workaround to load the zip file. I forget, maybe Chad could better explain it, but basically it was a hack to get around some Android policy. I mean, in the intervening 4 years, it might be different. But yeah, so I need to go with the generator here, undead ends, and then in the generator zip file, generator undead ends, and then I need to copy this over. Yep, cool. And let's play a little bit. It's been a while since I played, and well, I'll try to play enough so we can find our the new end we made. Dubus Digital says, how do you guys go about modeling stuff like temple heads? So I do all the 3D stuff myself, and it is all in Blender. So, and there's nothing really magic about it. It's just 3D modeling. I mean, there are some things I do to, um, like I have my grid set up so I can easily snap to maintain nice, try to keep my pixels at a nice pixel ratio. Also, my Blender file, I have a bunch of different scenes. So I have my dungeon scene, my sewer scene, and then the different layers have different, props and stuff. But generally, every scene will have like a little mock-up of what I kind of want that area to look like, and then I build little assets to support it. Yeah, the temple is the same. The temple has, yeah, this texture is broken here for some odd reason, but yep, because that is missing. Why is that missing? But again, not super important, but like this is where it's just 3D modeling, and um, like this head here, it's just um, I model it out, and then I try to I try to keep this one is a better example of where there are no like everything is perfectly on the grid. Um, like these edges here I've cut in afterwards to make it a little bit more lower poly, but when I first modeled it, everything was perfectly on the grid, and that way the pixel texture is kind of nicely um, mapped to that. But on the large head, let me see there, like this one, it's not necessarily the same. Like there are angles like for the cheeks and stuff. Um, and this was just mostly just like careful planning. Like actually, I think I was one of my archives too. I have the stream where I actually did this, and this was interesting. Yeah, and if you didn't even notice, I guess I haven't used it a lot, but the big temple heads, the prefab actually has a ladder defined on the back, so you can climb up the back of them. But the thing is, they end up being so big and taking up so much real estate that you rarely ever see the back of their heads. Um, but yeah, this was an interesting little exercise in that um, if you look over here, you can see the texture. So I had a repeating texture that I applied to the whole surface, and then I unwrapped it, and then I got everything, all the UVs looking good. I mean, there is some stretching here. Like where you have angles, you're going to have stretching, so you have to figure out like what's acceptable to you. And then I went through, and in Blender, I did the pixel art, and I picked out the different areas to make them, like this is supposed to look kind of like an ear, and like these are supposed to look like eyes and a mouth. It's still pretty subtle. I mean, I probably should call this out better. A lot of folks say like the eyes don't necessarily read like eyes, so um, that'd be a nice thing to fix. But yeah, just just basically traditional modeling, and then just kind of being careful about doing the UVs so that the pixels roughly maintain a consistent pixel ratio. Let's play some Delver and let's look for the new area we just created. So desktop, play. How many people have bought my game? That I'm not entirely sure of. I mean, you can certainly go on Steam Spy and they'll give you a ballpark. But I mean, I am fortunate that that we do. I mean, folks have purchased our game, and then I do make a small regular income off of it. It's not enough to live off of. Um, so I'm very fortunate that my wife has a job that she can support us with, because I'm a stay-at-home father, and I am doing all this work on Delver in my free time. Um, so the little bit I do make does help to supplement our income, but I would like to get it, like I would like to do more independent work, but the reality is I probably won't. I mean, it's going to be a while before I can do that, and I'll have to figure out how to it's just time management, right? And getting one shot by skeletons. Yeah, no, we do sell, like the nice thing is we do sell somewhat regularly. I mean, ideally, I would have several small titles that um, have a nice long tail that slowly I'd be able to build up to a more sustainable income. Is kind of the idea. Um, but we'll see if that's a reality or not. I was gonna level myself up a little bit so I don't instantly die, because I'm kind of in debug mode and just jumping through the levels. Um, Give myself some armor so I can take a hit. Don't need leather armor anymore, so I'll throw that in the lava. And let's give myself. Let's give myself a fire wand because I like that right now. That's my favorite go-to thing. So what I'm gonna do is this is so I'm gonna go down a level, and hopefully not instantly die. But then I'm gonna go back up to see what end tile it generated. Yeah, so this is the new one that we created. Um, got super lucky. So what's nice is now that the level editor doesn't actually show the fog. Um, so it's nice to see with the fog in. Did I screw up the? Huh. Nice shot. Yeah, I'm not sure if I messed up this end tile here or not. I'll double check with some of my other end tiles to make sure that's correct. Yeah, so we come into here. It's pretty darn foggy. You can kind of see it's saying, yeah. So I mean, so maybe I shouldn't have been so worried about the that direct line of sight because with the fog you can't see uh, this downward stair anyways. Um, yeah, no, I try to be I try to give you guys good answers. Like I try to be as open as I can. I mean, if there's something I can't tell you, I will tell you I can't tell you. Um, but for the most part, like my role on this project is mostly the art guy, so I kind of focus on that. To be honest with you, I mean, if I guess ultimately if I'm going to be more successful, I need to be certainly more business minded, and that's something I definitely need to work on. Maybe I should pull the. I think I need to pull the ceiling down here. This area still feels way too wide open. Um, Mantis BG says, "Hey Joshua, your game looks amazing. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. Yeah, no, it's yeah. I'm the art guy for it, so it's my job to make it look good. Um, so the compliments are very kind. I appreciate them. I'm going to in this little intermediate area. I'm going to pull the ceiling down. Um, or maybe I'll have it bow down here in the middle and kind of go back up towards the edges. That might be interesting also. It might make it feel different. Chris says, any ideas what kind of game I'd like to make after Delver? um, not really. Hopefully one that doesn't take 3 or 4 years to make. That would be ideal. Again, I think Chad and I have talked about like reusing the Delver engine to make another project. And if so, I would probably want it to be like sci-fi themed. I think that could be cool, but I don't know. Like I have lots of things on my plate. Um, I could I could certainly look for more contract work after Delver. So if folks were looking for help with their projects, I'd be happy to contribute either by making art or doing programming. I'm pretty confident in both of those areas. I've also played around with the idea of making some stuff for the Unity Asset Store. I have a little small project I'm working on in that regard that I'd like to eventually get on the Asset Store just to see what those numbers look like. Um, what else? Yeah, I'm kind of open to both making games and making tools for games. Um, I think both are very interesting, but nothing definite right now. Mantis BG says, "Have I done any Pixar before? Is this my first game?" Um, so To Mantis BG. To be honest, I've been doing pixel art. Oh man, I want to say since wow, 20 years maybe. Sorry, I'm not any better than I am, but I've been doing pixel art basically since I was a child, and it's only been maybe the past 4 years that I've been really serious about like trying to improve and trying to be regular about making art and trying to like study like pixel art technique and be better about it. This is the first game I've made that has had any sort of commercial traction. I've made other games in the past, small games, and even once some similarly like middling sized game that did okay. It used to be. I mean, let me see. I'll pull it up and give you guys the. I'll show you. I'll see if I can find the. Let me see. How do I search itch.io? Uh, so if you want to play my very first game, um, there it is. I've still I want to say this was made in 2008, a long time ago, before all the really fancy tools we have nowadays. Um, so that's out there. It's called Trouble in Cloudland. It was made by myself and another person. His name is Jonathan Fries, and we did all the programming and art and music and all that good stuff. Um, for this, well, let me see. So Duck Kegel says Delver 2. I want to avoid doing Delver 2, mostly simply because, like, for example, like with, like, for example, Doom. You had Doom 1 and Doom 2, and I feel like people prefer one or the other. But for us, if we make Delver, and then we make something uh, somewhat similar but somewhat different, they don't cannibalize each other. That both games are still valid. Because I worry that if we made Delver 2, that it would invalidate Delver 1. And I think it'd be good to have two games that can kind of like stand on their own and not fight. Um, yeah, two people. So this particular project, there are two of us working on it. I'm Joshua. I do all the art, 2D, 3D, UI, whatever. I do a good chunk of the level design, and sometimes I do programming, more as of late. But primarily, the other half of Delver, Chad, has done the programming, business, marketing, all that stuff. He cuts the builds, he pushes the builds out to the various marketplaces. Um, and he actually worked on the project a year before I even got pulled on board. Um, let me see. Mantis BG says, I teach myself art and pixel art too, and I love doing it. Hope in 20 years I'll be good as you. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I just stick with it. Like for me, I learned like the best thing is just to do a lot of work. And the more work you go through, the better you'll be. Like I feel like I don't get enough work done, and I really wish I had. Like if you're young, man, take advantage of the fact you just have these big swaths of time where you can just practice and get good. Because now that I'm older, I just don't have that kind of time anymore. Like I would suggest, like if like my favorite place to go is the Pixel Dailies group on Twitter. They post a different theme every day. You have 24 hours to do a piece of pixel art and post it. And I think it's a really good way to just produce a lot of work and to get better. To just get work done and not worry about fiddling on these little details that don't necessarily matter. Tuin says I'd love to see a Delver open world style game. Yeah, that would be cool. But like again, with the two-man team, we have to be really kind of we have to be kind of like I guess tactical, or like we have to be really careful about the stuff we commit to and the stuff that we think we can deliver at a certain quality level. Like I think we can Delver is reasonable. Like it's not a super huge scope. That it is okay for a two-man team to do. Um, Uh, Danny Guag says, what type of marketing are we doing at the moment? And if you could say how much money do you spend on it per month? I can say, to be straight up with you, um, Delver has a budget of $0 a month. We are two folks who do this in our free time. So yeah, like I guess technically we're losing money working on it because well, I mean, well, yes and no. Like we do earn money off of it, but like we don't have a budget. We don't have any sort of like we don't have a publisher or anything like that. But you know, I made enough money that you know I can pay for Photoshop. Um, I made enough money that I bought myself a new desk, which is pretty cool. Um, I'm trying to be really good about saving all the money I make on Delver and not spending it on making Delver, but spend it on hopefully another project. I'm trying to really be thrifty with my expenses and try to be able to, I'd love to survive making games, um, but it's going to be a tough prospect. Mantis PG says, am I going to stream for another hour? I don't know. Like I've been so to be honest with you, like the past couple nights, my streams have been a little rough. Like I haven't been. I guess I've started off later than I normally do, and I just haven't been feeling super creative. But tonight is okay. Tonight I've been making a room, and that's been cool. Um, yeah, let me fire the editor back up again, and I'll start editing while I talk. Yeah, sometimes on these projects, like if you're feeling burned out, you figure out like when you're feeling burned out, like sometimes people want to push through. Um, Which, I mean, in some cases that might be the right thing to do, but a lot of times, maybe what you need to do is just, you know, focus your energies elsewhere. So that's why instead of working on the particle effects for the wands and stuff, which is what we've committed to for this update, I'm just working on a little room I started you know, like probably a month ago that I never finished. And this is still adding to the game. It's just different enough for my brain to get a break. Um, so I might stream a little bit longer. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly when I started. Um, yeah. Let me see. Can Twitch tell me how long I've been streaming? Um, has it has it been a couple hours? Um, I'm not sure. I'm just kind of playing Slime by ear. I will kind of just stream for a while. I think I started around a little before 5, so maybe if um, maybe I'll stop sometime around 7. So let's say 7:15. So I have a half hour left. So if there's anything you'd like to see me do or talk about, please let me know. Otherwise, I want to keep on tweaking this little level. Chris says, would I work on the Delver engine for future projects or jump to another engine? So if I were like, that's the thing is like I'm super familiar with the Delver engine by now, so I can work really quick in it. So if Chad and I were to do another project, probably. Though I mean, if it was just by myself, I might do Unity. Um, yeah, I have an old buddy who wants to do a project here in the next year. Um, he has recently gone back to school for computer science, and he was wanting to do a project together to help kind of put on his resume. And I think we might do a Unity project together. Um, Mantis BD says, Joshua, that's good. I love to draw your pixel art. Yeah, sure. If you guys want to send me stuff, I'll gladly take a look. I try to be pretty timely in my correspondence, because I do appreciate the fact that you folks take time to watch me work, and if you're seeking candid feedback, I will give you the best feedback that I can. Yeah, no. So I do have a so Tumen try to do some sort of a bot command. So I do have a moo bot that I've just done a very basic configuration on, and that is mostly just to my poor moo bot has the job of spamming you with my social stuff and like and channel related stuff, which I think is an okay use for it. If it bothers you folks, if it's too frequent or too gross, let me know. But I like it there just so that it does like the self promotion stuff I don't like to do. Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, so wow, this has been a very fast 2 hours if that's the case. Yeah, generally I keep my streams to around 2 hours or so. Um, yeah, so I'm glad that you folks helped carry me through this one because I like again like sometimes you just get into a bit of a creative funk, and I was kind of a little worried about today that I like it's one thing to kind of like work by yourself and just kind of plug away on a project, and it's another thing to work in front of other people. Because I do worry about like being entertaining, and I don't want to like bore you folks to death. I guess not. I guess I don't think I'm entertaining, but I try to be at least informative. Um, because there are certainly way funnier streamers than myself. Um, Pertev Gap. Oh, hey, good evening. Thank you for joining the stream. Um, Mantis BG says, "Yeah, don't worry, Mantis. You like try to get some art done, and you know, like spending 30 minutes on a piece is okay. You could spend an hour on a piece. Um, there's no real like strict rule. Like again, for me, like in art, I don't really adhere to really any um, like I don't believe there are strict rules for like every single situation. I think it's all highly contextual, and you just kind of have to look at the piece you're working on, and if it's not really um, like if the stuff you're adding really isn't like helping the piece, maybe you're just like really kind of just like splitting hairs at that point in time, and maybe you should move on to something else. Because I know a lot of us um, who are interested in art are like we have like this perfectionist in us that really wants everything just to be so perfect, you know. And I mean that's good. That drives us to do um, good work. But sometimes trying to go for perfection will um, a prevent us from starting at all, and that's a bad thing. Like if you never start, that's terrible. Um, but also like it slows down the quality at which we can do, or the speed at which we can do work. Like a lot of the work we do is just to improve ourselves, and a lot of it you don't really show to other folks, right? You just do like as practice to get better. It feels slightly better, but still pretty darn open. Let me pull this down even further then. Let me grab a big chunk here. Just pull the roof down and see where we get. Cool. Thank you for the kind words, Mantis. Um, yeah, I'm glad that you are getting something out of the stream. Yeah, so I guess my robot is talking about feedback and stuff. So feel free if you have feedback for me about the game, about my stream, if you have questions for me, it's provided my little email address there. You can just reach out to me and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I think Dr. Kegel, one of my viewers, has been really helpful just about just about like some of the Twitch stuff that I am not good at. And kind of helping educate me on that, which I do appreciate. Dr. Kegel is the reason I have that little, like on my regular Sunday stream, I have this little, it's actually a hacked up version of Delver that serves as my pre-roll. So it gives people time to come into the channel and hang out before the actual stream starts, and that was his idea, and I think it's great. I really like my little thing there. So Pertep Gift says, I was wondering, Joshua, if your art style for Delver was influenced by Spelunky. Additionally, I was wondering if you're planning to introduce a usable like the Mattock from Spelunky where players could mine the golden walls for money. um, I'm not particularly influenced by Spelunky. Um, I mean, I do. I mean, I guess we could because we do have some of the similar tropes, right? So I guess it's probably subliminally, like the whole Spelunky like temple ruins areas is very very similar. Like I didn't, and maybe it came that's where it came from, and my brain didn't even register it. Um, but like art style wise, like for the sprites, I'm definitely influenced by the River City Ransom stuff. I just for some odd reason I really like just the proportions of those characters. Um, uh, for the environment arts, it's I don't know, like I guess it's kind of my style. It's kind of it's there's a there's another pixel artist who's basically I think we get like I feel like I'm ripping him off all the time, but he I don't know, like his name is Jonathan, and he's a very very kind, very talented artist. I think currently he works for Mojang. Um, he goes by the handle Eld, and a lot of times my art gets mistaken for his. But we both have this kind of we both like doing this pixely, dithery, low poly 3D stuff. And I guess there aren't a lot of us that I guess there I don't know, like I think it's I'm not sure if there's a lot of low poly pixely stuff. There's Minecraft and there's Delver. Um, can you guys throw out some other interesting games that are low poly with pixel textures that you like? So I'm trying to lower the ceiling here to make it feel less like wide and open, but I have the constraint where I still want these areas here to connect because the rooms need to connect roughly at the ground plane, which is this grid you probably can't see because of the compression. But so they have to be here, and I'm trying to have them dip down so this doesn't feel so open, but I still want like this area to be traversable. I don't know. I don't know. I guess Mantis brings up a good point too that with pixel art, like um, because you have a limited canvas and a limited number of colors, that you can't. I mean, being perfectionist is a little bit harder to do because there's just simply less, I guess, less things to tweak. But you can still kind of fall into that mindset. Okay, so coming from this direction, I think that's all right. We're just trying to make sure this has an interesting feel to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I have seen Jib Hard. Yeah, no, that is done by Brom Bueller's, I think. And I love the look of his game. It's not like some of it is pixel art and some of it is like this low res hand painted stuff. I think is beautiful. He's super crazy. He's also doing like these hand painted low res normal maps, which like on his I've watched a few of his Twitch streams. It's pretty cool watching him work. Um, I'll call this good. Let me go ahead and save that. Let me um, go ahead and update the generator.zip file. Reload assets, assets, oh, ends, yeah, ends. Then I need to assets, generator zip, generator, undead, ends. I need to copy that there, copy and replace. Let me go save my progress, used to commit that stuff. Unfortunately, I'm getting to a bad habit. I have some stuff in here that I haven't committed yet. So upgrade generator zip and ends 4. So let me go ahead and just do something like edit new end for temple area. Commit and sync. Yeah, strafe. Yeah, definitely strafe. Actually, I'm pretty good buddies with the two guys working on strafe. And actually, I have some art I've contributed to that you may or may not find, um, which is cool. Um, yeah, some of those things like for example like Dropsy Duck Game Gunpoint. Those are all 2D games. I was kind of thinking of more 3D games that use a low poly with pixel textures look. Um, Yeah, Devil Daggers is so good. I love it. It's so constrained, and it's such I think it's such a beautiful low poly. I'm not sure if the textures are pixel art or if they're just like either indexed or like reduced colors. But yeah, it definitely has the same vibe. Um, let me see. Ducoup. So that's. If I'm thinking correctly, I'm not sure if I've seen the new project by Ducope. Is Ducope Locus Pope? Is that right? Cope. Yeah. So his new project is the Obra Dinn, which is really cool. That's a it's has a shader that simulates a 1-bit using Dither, which is pretty cool. Um, yeah, Mantis BG, go ahead and send out that rough sketch. You can email it to me if you like. Um, let me play Delver for the remaining 15 minutes, and I'll just talk about stuff I see. And feel free to throw out more low poly games with pixel art textures. Okay, start area. So I still didn't get that archery NPC done, um, but I just wasn't feeling that tonight. So maybe I'll work on it off stream. Sometimes I just feel like I like working on stream, but also off stream is nice too because I don't feel as embarrassed by my failures. But I mean, it's also important too for folks to realize that I mean this is um, it is tough work. Um, like creating stuff from nothing is hard. Like for example, like if you give me um, like a piece of art that's already been done and you ask me to replicate it, that's way easier than trying to design something from the ground up and implement it. Um, okay, got some potions, got some wands. Should have a decent run. Um, thanks, Chris. Um, Chris was being cheeky and suggesting that I look at a game called Delver, which is the game we're playing right now. Delver is a first-person dungeon crawler. I guess somebody died and gave me levels, so that's cool. Let's do attack. And there's somebody behind me. Gotta bring up the big guns now and just kind of put it into this. It's inspired by old games such as Ultima Underworld, Daggerfall, but also games like Doom and Heretic and Hexen. It has melee, it also has FPS elements, as you saw me with my little wand blasting away. Oh, somebody's shooting at me from over there, so let me pop around the corner and... Oh, he got a hold of me. Yikes, throw that away. Ice wand. Let's do that. Yeah. So you notice now there's one charge on the missile wand because I put a point into magic. I'm going to swap out my candle for a shield because I do want the extra defense. Let me see. Ooh, fire wand. Give myself a good reason to kill myself, but that's okay. Fire wand right now is my favorite thing. I think Chris suggested I put an ambient light on, or a dynamic light on that when it explodes, and I still need to do that. I don't believe it does light up the area when it explodes quite yet. I've never heard of I'm Scared. I've never heard of Evil Land either. Thank you for these cool recommendations. These are things I'll have to check out once the stream is over. Yeah, Nimble Broken Composite Bow. I need to find a... Yes, sucker! I need to find a better melee weapon, because right now this dagger isn't cutting it. Blast him like that. While he's slowed and try to take him out. I still need to come up with art to indicate that an enemy is either slowed or poisoned. I think with poison I'm going to have little like green bubbles come off of them. But I'm trying to figure out what would be a good way to indicate that they have been slowed. I don't really need a lantern. Get Brawler's Fine Iron Mace. Yeah, there we go. That's way better than... So that's 7 and 9 damage now. So that's way better than my my little dagger. And here are the stairs down. Let's go down to the next level. Nickman is also suggesting the scrolls need love. The Novas could use it mostly looking at them somehow. Yeah. Yeah, so the scrolls are the other part of the Magic players, like Arsenal. They are like a one-shot area of effect kind of thing. And yeah, I think the visual effects on the scrolls can definitely use a lot. There we go. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe my next stream I'll look at the scrolls. And also right now too, all the scrolls have the same icon, and maybe I should differentiate them somehow. Just a thought. I'm not sure if that's important or not. Because right now all the potions have a different color and a different shape. And I'm not sure if that's as important for the scrolls or not. Get on that spike trap. There we go. Okay, let's eat that bread. Defense probably would be a good thing to have. So I could pin them up against the wall. Okay, there we go. Got some traps going on here. A fine steel spiked mace to the Tempest. Wow, that's crazy. So that's way more damage than I'm currently doing. Yeah, 13 to 16 versus 7 to 9. So that's the way to go. Yeah, do some damage with this thing. And got a level down. Let me just clean up this area real quick. I'm still liking the puff effects. I'm glad Chad we're kind of putting those on a lot of things in the world. Like when stuff hits walls and slides on the ground, it does all the little pops. Cool. And down. Let me see. I could put a snail symbol on top of the mob to simply generate dust clouds on their feet if you don't want to break the immersion. Yeah, I could do like dust clouds, or I could do like ice or snow or something. That might be a good way to do it. Chris is suggesting Dark Messiah Might Magic. Interesting. No, I've not checked that out. Maybe I ought to. Thank you for the recommendation. Mantis BG says, what is my eye color? This is getting a little weird. My eye color is brown. Yeah, no, I definitely, that's why I like the maces, because they have a high knockback. It allows me to throw the enemies into like lava or push them into spikes, push them into environmental hazards is really fun for me. I find it useful to be able to control where the enemies are. I think that's one of the systems that the knockback works well for pushing enemies into environmental hazards. And also probably the effects for this could probably be better too, since this is an enchanted melee weapon. It does a small little magic effect when you hit stuff. This is a shopkeeper in the interstitial level. You can buy junk from them if you're so inclined. But it's insipid amulet, which is like not a good thing. And skill in a jar. Skill in a jar could actually also use a new icon, because you never find skill in jars, but you can buy them. So maybe it's almost like those elixirs in BioShock. All right. So now we've entered the caves, which, as you may guess, are. Oh, there we go. Bye bye. You can't grab the loot, but he's definitely he's no longer happy. Yeah. So with the caves, we're trying to break up the feel. Trying to have every area feel different, so they should feel pretty claustrophobic. There's actually not a lot of not always a lot of room to kind of roam around in the caves. Oh, and I got poisoned and I killed myself. I knew I'd kill myself with the fire wand. That's another thing too. Is I have the fire wand. It does area of effect damage, but the fall off for the damage is actually cubic. It's not linear. So as long as you're not as long as you don't hit a wall directly next to yourself, you probably won't kill yourself. But I'm curious what people think about having the fall off for an explosion. Yeah, no, the mysterious merchant. We're trying to I don't know, like the mysterious merchant. We're trying to imply that he's not quite what he seems. So he has like a little purple tentacle that kind of occasionally will fall out from underneath his robe and he tucks it back in. Yeah, I really enjoy Eldritch. It also is a low poly pixel style. Yeah, no, I believe it's David Pittman who's working on that. He made that because he also has like a similar he is a machine. He puts out so many games so fast. Like he's put out Eldritch and Neon Struct, and now he's working. He just released what's his vampire slaying game? But he is smart in that he keeps the production values low, so that he doesn't spend a lot of time on like content. 'Cause I spend a lot of time making art, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And even still, like I've chosen pixel art because it is relatively fast for me to make. Because I could do higher poly, more higher fidelity art, but it just again would add more time to our production. So I'm trying to be again efficient with my time. But yeah, he's good about keeping the production values low, but making interesting games. Also, I also need to fix that the little particle that comes off of the enemies on the hit, because the magic missile used to be green, and that's used. Um, sometimes when we do the little hit effects, we'll pick up sparks, and in some places the magic missile effect is still defined as green, which we need to fix. How am I gonna? Okay, this is gonna be a tough fight. Okay, I grabbed the ice one. Should be okay for now until I find a better melee weapon. Yeah. Sometimes the computer, when it makes rooms, it chooses to make interesting rooms that aren't necessarily physically possible. But whatever, it does its thing. We just let it be. Yeah, eventually I would like to put a little more love into the. Let's go with the archer build right now because I haven't done much archer stuff. I would like to. Ah, crap! What did I hit? Is it hitting me? Shouldn't hit me. Weird. Let me see if I can replicate that. So walk backwards. See, now I can't do it. If I was facing this way. Yeah. So Chad, if you're watching, I'm not sure what's going on with the arrows in that particular instance. It's happened on a couple other occasions too, where they hit mysterious things that I can't see, and I've not been able to reproduce it after the initial occurrence. Speed. Nice. There we go. Good shot. Crap. Pertup Gap says, caves are probably my favorite part of the game. I wish there were more intractable environment elements like elevators in other areas. Oh, interactable. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something we could definitely play around with. Maybe before we release, do a polish pass and add some more interactivity stuff throughout the different areas. Like I'd like to maybe have like drawbridges in the sewer so you can kind of gate off areas. Maybe I don't know. We have a pretty dynamic system of like being able to hook up entities and like having like flipping a switch can trigger different behaviors. So Chris is saying the missile wand seems like to be the perfect thing to take out bats. Yep. So yeah, it's nice. Yeah. So the missile wand does. So the missile wand has been tweaked since the previous update, where it does very low damage, but it also has a high number of shots. So Chris is saying for enemies have low health, it's nice not to have to waste a higher power wand on it. For example, like if I were to create a fire wand and let me spawn in a missile wand. The missile wand does 1 to 2 points of damage, but has 21 charges, versus the fire wand does 4 to 24, but only has 7 shots. And I've also tweaked the fire wand too, where now it has a bit of an arch to it, so it's not a perfect straight shot. Let's go there. And so I'm trying to differentiate like that. And also with the missile wand, it no longer shoots perfectly, so it's not quite as good of a sniper weapon as it used to be. Again, trying to differentiate the wands so they have different roles and use them for different things is kind of the goal. Interesting. So Pertup Gap said they used Eldritch to teach their sister how to play first-person games. Yeah, the lighting one makes it quite easy, but it feels like a waste for not going for those collateral hitting enemies. Yeah. When I have a lightning wand, I tend to try to save that for groups of enemies when they're all nicely lined up. It feels really nice when you get like 2 or 3 enemies with a single shot. Like that just feels so nice. Uh, I think I'm just about out of arrows. Um, he didn't drop my arrows back, so I think right now when you hit an enemy, there's a chance that the arrow breaks. I think I want to switch that around. So if you hit an enemy, you'll always get your arrow back. But if you hit a wall, sometimes it will break, and then it will drop 2 particles of a broken arrow, so you can see that your arrow broke. So right now it's kind of a mystery what happened to your arrows. I think you should always recover them from enemies, but sometimes they should break on the wall. But let me go ahead and just throw some of these crazy wands in my hotbar, um, and just start blasting stuff, I guess, because my wand is used, or my bow is pretty much done. Let's use my missile wand because that's the safe one in close quarters that I'm not. Oh, there's some arrows there that I'm not going to kill myself with.
Who was that?
And I could probably finish it off with my dagger. Yep. Okay, got a little bit of breathing room. I can probably use this. There we go. I'm really happy with how this explosion turned out. Like I love the little things it kicks off. It's nice. Scroll of resist magic. Sure, scrolls are fine. Maybe it might be worth differentiating the scrolls that do damage versus the scrolls that will give you a passive bonus. That might be a worthwhile thing to do, just so visually you can kind of look at them. And okay, let's go on. So Perta says maybe include player customization so you can encourage you to play as well. Yeah, so for Delver there is no player. There's no player sprite. So yeah, so that would be something interesting, I suppose. Um, Gunner Alive Gunner Live 12 says, did we use OpenGL 3 or 2 for this game? I know it's libgdx. I want to know what context you're using. Um, I'm not entirely for certain. I know that's one of the issues with the Android stuff, is which version of OpenGL we're using. Yeah, so a lot of the player customization lies in Delver is crap, is like what gear you choose to use. Which in my brain loosely defines what class you're playing. And I guess and also in my brain, the classes you can play as are like a melee, an archer, or a mage, and they each are a little bit different. So right now I'm kind of playing mostly as a mage because I have all these wands. I don't have any, I still just have the very, very basic armor. Is there somebody clicking outside the world right here? I thought I saw something. Maybe not. Maybe that was just my imagination. Crap. Okay, I need something longer range than my fire wand, so maybe this would be okay. I'm out of shots there. My ice wand to slow him down. Oh, and he gets killed by spikes, so that works out well. There we go. Just kind of running around, see what there is to see. The caves can be a little difficult to navigate, so you do have a map. By pressing M, you can more wands. You can see where you've been. Yeah, so in Eldritch, I know, yeah, in Eldritch, you only ever see yourself in the library. Well, and I think in Eldritch, don't you also have a hand? Like your player has a hand, and that you can change the color of your player's skin, which changes the color of your hand. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like again, we're trying to keep we're trying to be like really, um, I guess, thrifty in how we spend our time and effort. So, like, I don't know if adding a player model for Delver would be a good way to spend my time. Grab it. Nope. Okay. That's why I put a lot of effort into the environments, because for the most part, you see like, oh, is he stuck in the ceiling? For the most part, you see the environments quite a bit, um, and quite a lot. So that's why I enjoy doing, trying to put a lot of detail into that. And there's armor. Yay! Crap. Crap. Ah! Ah! Can I bomb my way out of this one? Yay! I survived somehow. And excellent chainmail, which is nice. Cool. And yeah, that's the ice one I just pitched. Pitch that. Well, let's go back to being an archer since I can recover my arrows. That's a bit nice. Yeah, so the archer and the mage play similar, but because you can recover your arrows, the game is slightly different. With mages, you tend to do more damage overall. Again, I'm always curious to see what people's feedback is on that and how they play. And, yeah, and the thing I like about right now, I'm using a composite bow, and the thing about the composite bow is it has the highest knockback of any bow weapon, which is, I mean, it's not as much as a mace, but it still has a high knockback. So I think maybe that way. Yeah, so I definitely, Chris brought up a good point in that I probably should consider making armor specific to both the mage and to the archer types, just to kind of support their ways of play. You know, and actually, Nickman, I have prototyped having a left-hand weapon that or left-hand item that will add to your magic stat. Um, I think that might be a cheap way uh, to help the mages play a little differently. Yep, there we go. Yeah. So yeah, maybe not armor, but maybe clothing, and then the different clothes can give you different bonuses. You know, maybe not necessarily armor, but maybe either speed or agility or things that a ranged person or a mage would be interested in. Crap, 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 crap. There we go. I was worried about exploding myself there for a second, but I guess I got lucky. Let's get that guy. There we go. The Demon's Excellent Steel Mace of Ice. -4 attack. That's no good. Let's switch to this because I'm in close quarters. There we go. And I am poisoned. Let's see if I can fix that. Okay, paralyze myself. Restore health. There we go. I should be okay. Where to go? Where to go? This way. Yeah, no, I think having a little archer's cap might not be a bad thing. Again, I think it helps just helps kind of like role play a little bit like your class, and it would be a cheap way to get some variation. Yeah, magic resistance might not be a bad thing. Oh, my arrows are gone forever. that is I guess the thing that archers have to keep in mind is like you can shoot like an arrow like over there and it's stuck in the wall, but you can't ever get to it. So you gotta be careful about arrow management. Yep. Bye, arrow. Okay, I think I've gone longer than I said I would, but I've had a good stream. Thank you guys for making it. Thank you for guys, gals, and everyone for making it a good stream. I appreciate taking the time to hang out with me. Um, uh, maybe Mantis sent me a picture to look at real quick. Yeah, yeah. I do have crazy hair and a beard. You're nailing that pretty well. That's cool. Yeah, keep working on the pixel art, man. Thank you for sharing that with me. But yeah, no, I appreciate you folks, supporting me both monetarily by buying Delver, which you can pick up on Steam in early access, but also thank you for helping keep me motivated and helping me get some work done. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. I will be back tomorrow because I have committed to doing a stream every day this week because I'm insane. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow and have a good night.